As a kid, I missed out on a Sega Saturn. I already had a PS1 and N64, so my folks wouldn't buy me a third system. I soon gave up on getting one, as at the time, all the game magazines said it had very little to no good games. Now, thanks to the power of the internet, I can see that it may have had a shaky start, but over its lifespan, the Saturn had a varied library of games. The problem was, the bulk of the cool games never left Japan. But once again, what Sega don't, the fans do. And thanks to the hard work of said fans, we now have another new Saturn game to play in English. Hey there, this is Mega Blade J, and today I will be reviewing Bulk Slash for the Sega Saturn. Bulk Slash is a third-person mech action game. It was made by Computer Arts Production, or Cap Production? I'm just call them Cap. And published by Hudson Soft in Japan of July of 97. Before this game, Cap had made a few other ones, such as Hagane, The Final Conflict for SNES, and Jinga Fuki Densetsu Sapphire for the PC Engine. For the story, basically, there was a giant space war among 3 planets. After the war, the losing planet, Blau, and its people were treated like crap and discriminated against by the 2 winning planets. 25 years later, of still being treated like crap, a military leader called Gardner raises a rebel army to get revenge. He unleashes a planet-destroying weapon and held the people that immigrated to Blau hostage. The 2 planets that won weren't having that, and sends in a special task force led by you. Your job is to use a kick-ass mech to defeat each world's boss and take down the planet destroyer. There's also this subplot about the main character having to face his former childhood friend, but none of this is actually shown in the game itself. There is a cutscene at the very end of the game, but to get the backstory, you need to read the instruction manual. It's a shame because it has a good setup for a really interesting space drama. They could have done some cutscenes in between missions, or at least had a story dump when you start the game or something. Regardless of the missed story opportunity, the gameplay is fun, top-notch arcade shooter action. Your mech has 2 main modes. The first being a robot for ground-based combat, and the second, a jet that can attack airborne foes. The robot can jump, do a close-range sword attack, strafe, and fire a gun. It's good when you need to aim carefully, or if you're in a space too tight to fly it in. Compared to the robot, the jet is way faster and more maneuverable. It can switch between 4 sets of speeds. The highest speed is best for covering ground and dodging attacks, while the slowest can make you an easy target, but makes aiming way easier. Both modes have a basic gun, but if you don't shoot for a few seconds, your weapon will auto-charge and fire a secondary attack. In robot form, you can launch a grenade that explodes in a wide radius. Baddies caught in this explosion also blow up and cause a chain reaction of explosions. Each enemy destroyed in this chain will greatly add to your score. The jet's secondary fire is to launch a bunch of homing missiles. The longer your foes are in your sights, the more missiles will lock onto them, resulting in more damage. I found myself in jet mode 95% of the time, due to its speed and, well, a few well-placed missiles can easily wreck a boss. Though, if you want to impress your miss, you're going to need to get good at grenade combos. What's that? You don't have a miss? Don't worry, this game has you covered. Hidden in each stage is a floating pink helmet. Touch it and you'll be introduced to your waifu, miss. During a mission, their face will pop up, Star Fox style, and basically act as your co-pilot. They will react when you get hurt, collect a power-up, and provide directions to your current objective. Yes, this game is basically Star Fox with waifus. Well, more non-furry waifus. Though optional, they are extremely useful, as the maps are very large, and it can be hard to find your objective. The more you ride with a certain miss, the more experience they will gain. From what I can tell, their experience is gained based on how high your score is, how fast you complete a level, and how much damage you take. When you beat the game with a miss, you'll unlock bonuses depending on her level of experience and your score. Get a high enough score, and you can see the girl's animated ending, or a pretty tame fan service picture. There are 6 main girls with a hidden 7th one, and all have their own unlockable bonuses. The game's graphics are super impressive for the Saturn. From what I have been told, it was made to be a 2D powerhouse. The ability for 3D graphics was basically slapped on last minute, after seeing what the PS1 and N64 were doing with 3D. As a result, it was difficult to make and program 3D games for the Saturn. This game, however, really shows what the system could do when in capable hands. It uses a mixture of pre-rendered 2D sprites and impressive 3D models. There are a ton of enemies and bullets flying around on screen, and the slowdown is either barely noticeable or non-existent. There's even a few nicely animated cutscenes. If more games looked like this from the start, I have no doubt the Saturn would have done better in sales. The music is pretty catchy and fits perfectly for an action game. There's even some voice acting. The original game was spoken in Japanese, but the fan translators went the extra mile and got voice actors to re-record the lines in English. And I gotta tell you, they are cheesy as hell, and I love every second of it.
Isn't that it up there? We're nearing a target. Onwards.
Was hit. More to the left. Keep going straight.
The voices sound just like it would have if this game had been brought west back in the 90s. I especially love the character Colin and her heavy German accent. Her
Oh my god!
had me rolling every time. I'm really happy the translators did this, and I hope this will be a trend in future games with voice acting. The game is overall really fun, but there are a few negatives. While the game has some impressive graphics, it also has a major issue with pop-in. In most stages, buildings and enemies will appear out of thin air as you approach them. This is an issue in levels like the second to last stage, where you can't see the gigantic walking target until it's right under your nose, and by then, it's already shooting at you. While annoying, it's not a game-breaking issue, and you do get used to it after a while. The other main issue is that the game is super short. If you know what you're doing, you can beat it in less than an hour. Now, Star Fox 64 was short too, but it had alternate paths, hidden bosses, and multiplayer to extend the playtime. This game's replay value comes from grinding the girls.
Oh yeah.
to raise their experience levels and get their endings, you pervs. Every time you beat the game with a miss as your co-pilot, that girl's experience is saved. When you start a new game, you can choose to fly with any girl you've unlocked and continue to raise her level. As you raise their level, you gain certain bonuses. They can be subtle and hard to notice, but from what I've seen, you can get faster weapon charges as well as more ammo for your special weapons. Unlocking all the visual bonuses and ending movies require a high enough score. My suggestion for that will be to play on hard mode and use grenade combos. This is due to hard mode adding more baddies, which means greater opportunities for earning score. It took me a good 2 to 3 runs per girl to max out their level and unlock other bonuses. I estimate it took over 20 hours to unlock everything. I admit it was very grindy having to replay the same levels over again with each girl. Fortunately, the game is fun arcade action goodness, and I did have fun replaying the levels. If you want a physical copy, you're going to be paying a pretty penny. Like most Saturn games, this one is pretty expensive and goes for around $170 to almost $400 complete. Overall, I absolutely loved Bulk Slash. It has fun arcade action, impressive 3D graphics, and a hilariously cheesy English fan dub. This is hands down one of the funnest and best looking Sega Saturn games I've played so far. I highly recommend this to fans of action games or someone looking for an awesome Saturn game in general. This has been Mega Blade J. Thanks for watching. The channel is now over 850 subscribers. Thank you so much. Next up, 900, then 1000, baby. If you enjoyed the review, like the video, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you next mission. Bye.